Waymo suspends service in 6 cities after cars drove into flooded roads. That's the headline from the New York Times, and it marks a notable pause for one of the country's most visible autonomous taxi operators. On Friday, Waymo, which is owned by Alphabet, Google's parent company, confirmed it was temporarily shutting down its driverless taxi service in Austin, Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, Nashville, and Atlanta. The decision came after videos surfaced showing 2 Waymo vehicles stopped on swamped streets in Atlanta on Wednesday, when the city received 2 to 3.5 inches of rain and flash flooding closed parts of the downtown connector highway. The suspensions are tied to a safety concern that regulators flagged earlier this month. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration sent a letter stating that Waymo was fixing software in thousands of its taxis because the code could allow the cars to drive into standing water on some roads. Waymo says it first identified the issue last month after an unoccupied taxi entered a flooded road during a heavy downpour in San Antonio on April 20. At the time, the company believed the software could be patched without interrupting service, but the Atlanta incidents prompted a broader, proactive pause. In addition to the 6-city shutdown, Waymo is also temporarily disabling highway travel for its taxis in Miami, Phoenix, Los Angeles, and the San Francisco Bay Area. The company says it wants to improve how the vehicles navigate certain highway construction zones and expects to restore that capability soon. A Waymo spokesman, Chris Pappas, framed the move as part of being a good neighbor to riders and communities, emphasizing that the company makes proactive decisions when safety questions arise. One of the Atlanta videos was recorded by a journalist for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, Rachel Knudsen, who was riding in a Waymo during the storm. She said the car drove onto several flooded streets before it gave up, forcing her to order an Uber to complete her trip. Knudsen added she wasn't sure she would ride in a Waymo again in bad weather. A second video showed an unoccupied Waymo stopped in water nearly up to its headlights. These episodes come as self-driving taxis become a more common sight in major American cities, raising fresh questions about how autonomous systems handle extreme weather and unexpected road conditions. Waymo says it expects to resume operations in the 6 affected cities soon, but the pause underscores the ongoing challenge of ensuring that driverless cars can safely perceive and react to flooding, a scenario that human drivers also find difficult. Thanks for listening. I'm your host, and we'll keep an eye on how this develops.